Welcome back to the channel. It is October 12th, 2024. The time now is 7:18 p.m. Eastern Time. It is Saturday. I'm going to be doing a live at 9, but I decided to come on and just do a snippet on things that we're having to deal with on a daily basis. Government is working on projects that are way advanced that basically will be part of the control grid, or what they call the prison planet. And it seems like they have back-to-back programs, and the whole point of these programs is to control every human being on Earth, animal life, not really animal life, but us humans. And again, there's so much information out there, so much stuff going on that we need to talk about these things. So we're gonna get into something that is scary, along with every other thing that's scary. Uh, So, automating emotional state recognition. Later on, we're going to be talking about automating eugenics. DARPA's work has been working on studies on recognizing fear or enhancing fear. Scary stuff. Things like being able to detect alarming or the human or animal pheromones as a method of social communication, right? Because animals and actually humans do the same thing when they're in a panic or they have fear. It sends out a magnetic wave or an electromagnetic wave to notify others of that fear. If humans were in tune, we can like telepathically communicate with others to be aware of whatever we're fearing or panicking about. We'll get into that later on too. So it's basically the identification and isolation of human alarm pheromones. We'll get into that another time, but it's kind of scary, the stuff that the agencies in our government is working on. So let's go ahead and get into the emotional state recognition. So this is a project that I believe it's DARPA has been working on, where it's called the Integrated System for Emotional State Recognition for the Enhancement of Human Performance and the Detection of Criminal Intent. Hey, that was a long one, huh? So, per AI, this refers to a technological system that uses various sensors and algorithms to analyze a person's facial expressions, the person's body language, their voice tone, and their physiological signals. And that would be like your heart rate, your skin conductance, and this is to identify their emotional state in real time. The goal is to both optimize human performance in specific situations and potentially detect potential criminal intent. And they do this by identifying the signs of the stress, signs of deception, and signs of aggression. The key aspects of the system, again, this is part of the whole gaze recognition, facial recognition, and now it's emotional recognition. The key aspects of the system is a multi-modal sensing, combining data from multiple sources like video cameras, microphones, wearable sensors, smartwatches, and physiological monitoring devices to gain comprehensive understanding of a person's emotional state. This is everything that I'm talking about is Brave New World on steroids. It's not even 1984. Machine learning algorithms are using advanced algorithms like deep learning neural networks to analyze the collected data and classify the emotions with high accuracy. They do real time processing, which is the ability to analyze data in real time to provide immediate feedback and trigger alerts in situations where rapid emotional detection is critical. We've seen these movies. Potential applications can be used at the workplace performance. We've seen that with China, right? They're monitoring their drivers, they're monitoring their warehouse people. Even Amazon is monitoring its warehouse people. So you can use that for workplace performance, monitoring employees. You can monitor their stress levels to optimize work schedules and provide supposed interventions to prevent burnout. You can use this in customer service, which is analyzing customer emotions during the interactions to improve customer service quality and identify potential issues. You can use this in education, which is assessing student engagement and understanding their emotional responses to teaching methods. Obviously, the number one application, and it's pretty much, the others are just extra. It's all surveillance, right? So security, surveillance, and law enforcement. This is for detecting potential threats, suspicious behavior by analyzing facial expressions, emotional expressions, body language of individuals in public spaces. Exactly what China's doing. Now, the ethical considerations of this would be the collection of your data, right? And the analysis of your personal emotional data, which raises significant privacy issues requiring clear guidelines to user consent. We know that the government doesn't give a shit about your safety, your privacy, or your consent, obviously. Now, they say it's not perfected, but you know, if the government is publicly talking about it now, if the agencies are publicly talking about it now, that means they're ahead of us by 30, 40, 50 years, maybe even 100 years. So they pretty much got at least the West on lockdown. If this is a satellite, basically satellite dependent, right? Google had an amazing ability in the early 2000s through Google Earth to view real time data, meaning people walking on the street. I remember this when Google Earth, the satellite first came out, or the ability to see the satellite first came out. You can see all the way down to the ground. You can see, people walking. You can see their tags. You can see everything. And this is from satellite. I'm not talking about, the little car that goes through each street and, whatever. No, I was talking about satellite. So if they have this capability now, this is how they can lock in your brain signals. That's what I've been talking about for the last week and a half. They lock in your brain signals. They can track you like enemy of the state. They can track you all over the world if they wanted to. And that is crazy. And then imagine all the other programs combined with this ability, right? They can sense your emotions, or they can track your emotions, your vital signs. I talked about this like 5, 6 years ago. I was talking about this. Nobody was talking about this. Where where Asia was already, before even China came out with their program, or like publicly being announced on, on ABC News or whatever. They were already tracking people, and they can tell if your heart rate goes up with just the cameras out in the street. Your heart rate, if you're going to steal. In Japan, I think it was in Japan, they had CCTV cameras that were able to tell if a person was planning to steal or not. Again, I was talking about they were able to read the AI of those cameras were able to read the electromagnetic waves of the thought of the individual. But of course, that was a conspiracy theory. And they'll still claim it's a conspiracy theory, but it's not. It's electromagnetic waves. They can pick up the data just like anything else, and they can input data with the same pulses. So this is what, this is where we're going. Effective computing and emotion recognition systems. This is the internet of everything. This is the IoT, the internet of things, the internet of thoughts, right? Klaus Schwab stated that he was going to be able to read your mind. Nobody would be able to hide their thoughts from anyone. And, basically we had no reason to fear if we had nothing to hide, right? So your thoughts would be available to everyone. The hive mind, which is what I've been talking about. Scary stuff, folks. I mean, we're going into, we are the matrix. We are in the matrix, but it's just, which part are we in? Are we in the beginning stages, or are we in a matrix within a matrix within a matrix with this, which is a simulation within the simulation within the simulation, blah, blah, blah. Let's say this is the first we're experiencing this. This is scary times. This is the beast system that everyone talks about. It is the beast system. No one will be able to hide because your electromagnetic waves can be picked. It's signet. It's signal intelligence. You send out a signal. Your body has electricity, has vibration, and sends out signals like the animals send out signals. And now they've basically almost perfected the surveillance of all signals and have done the reverse now, where they can input signals, data into your mind, stream it in. So now I know why so many people have gotten the urge to go to the mountains and live off grid. The whole purpose of off grid is so you have the minimal detection of quote unquote signals from devices. And this is why now it makes more sense why the government, and I knew this before years ago, but now for the common man, this is why they're putting towers in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of deserts, because they're planning to literally seal off the planet. And I believe Lana Freeland was talking about that as well. The Skynet, basically, but the net that's being put around the world, where everything is tracked, the environment, the animals, the people, everything. Nothing will be, nothing will escape the surveillance of the worldwide planet. It's crazy stuff. All right, guys, I'll be back at 9, and we'll go over the other part of the crazy technology that's being used against the populace of the world. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, hit all notification for future live streams and videos. If you want to support monetarily, the links are in the description. Talk to you tonight at 9.